Hey YouTube, today we're back talking about my favorite game, Bleach, as in Bleach Soul Resonance. Today, they just dropped some big news for the Szayelaporro reveal trailer. He will be our first spirit support unit, which will have universal support capabilities that rival Kisuke. So basically, Kisuke's gone. He's resting now finally after all this time. And Szayelaporro will be a limited unit that has small on-field time, as he'll be a support, and he has two forms, likely his base and his resurrection, which I believe will be done using his ultimate. And his ultimate has two stages, and his second stage will deal tons of damage. So he's kind of like a nuker, similar to Nelia, but again, he apparently still very limited field time. So I think even his, like, when he's in his resurrection, he won't be on field much, and it will be mostly him going to the back and summoning out his fraction to like deal damage and like build up his ultimate gauge so he can like nuke. Also, Szayelaporro will be having no ailment damage in his kit, so we are likely like moving on from this current ailment damage meta, except of course like Grimmjow is going to come out right after, and Grimmjow will, we already know, deal ailment damage, but that's also because he is an old unit that's been heavily delayed thanks to Shueisha. But yeah, Szayelaporro will also be very free to play friendly. He'll have all his capabilities at 0 dupes, but you could also increase his damage output significantly by getting dupes into him, obviously. We're also set to get a new Spirit DPS, they said. It's likely going to release right after Grimmjow, since we don't really know who's going to come out after Grimmjow. Except we did get a teaser for Halibal, and Halibal is our current only tease character with no information, so it's safe to say that Halibal will be our next DPS spirit type unit. Devs have also confirmed that new characters will eventually be added to the premium banner. We don't know much on this, whether the new characters are directly added to the premium banner or limited characters are moved to the premium banner, and that's all up in the air. Apparently there were complaints with Soifan's playstyle being similar to Neliel, so I don't really see that, because Neliel's the kind of a support, and then she does her ultimate and she deals massive like damage in her resurrection and has a lot more on field time, and then she also nukes with her ultimate. But that's kind of why it's similar to Soifan, because Soifan nukes with her ultimate. I think that's where the similarity comes from, and that she also is a tactic character. Tactic character nukes with the ultimate. It's not really that crazy, considering tactic characters are just kind of off field but on field at the same time, and of course they have battlefield skill, and it has a similar functionality in that your other characters do damage, consume the gauge, builds up the battlefield skill to allow them to use it. But again, Soifan's a very off field, only really comes in every now and then to like switch out, literally that's it, and then she does a nuke ultimate. Meanwhile Neliel, she comes in, she builds up the gauge, and then she ults and then does a lot of on field like damage because she's in her DPS state. Devs did address though that they're gonna fix the strike team, and in the future it will be very much separate from the first team, in that the team will have a high skill ceiling and high damage output to reflect it. Soifan's limited field time, however, is said to be very synergistic with Grimmjow, who's going to be very like on field heavy, like main DPS, and like I think like a expert main DPS gameplay. But and also they're going to give the free Grimmjow along with his max. I think they're going to give his dupes, but again they're also going to give his weapon and max weapon dupe and max core stamp, I think as well. For Rangiki, I think they just gave one core stamp. I don't know exactly if they're going to give us max core stamp dupes, but they are going to give us max weapon dupes, and I think also like character dupes as well, which is also great for free to play people who are new to the game and don't really have much characters, because like Rangiku, Momo, Rukia, like these SRs have like a lot of significance and they're very solid units in the game, so having a max cheap SR like Grimmjow likely going to be very solid addition to the roster and very great for new players. And obviously there's going to be a big influx of new players thanks to the half anniversary, and Grimjaw being a very hype character. Shueisha obviously giving the teams at Newverse a hard time, as they still aren't able to add any more story content, and they've also stated that character releases are fully up to Shueisha, and they can't really say much about it. They just have to make the characters who are less hype very like unique in their functionality, that will also like get people satisfied throughout the slower periods of the game. On the bright side though, I did mention in my last video that they're gonna add they're gonna add a co-op, and yeah, they're adding a 3-player co-op mode. Apparently it's gonna have role set as well, which is really cool, so you'll have structure in your co-op teams. But also on top of that, they're also adding a PvEVP mode, I get that right, which is basically just competitive mob slaying mode that currently is probably I think it's in the game right now, where you would like compete with like Uryu to like see who can like kill the most mobs. I think they have that in like the roguelike mode as well. And we're also getting a wild boss. I think this is probably going to be half anniversary stuff, like most of this. We're getting a wild boss. You can find the wild boss. The whole server participates in fighting the boss. And we're also going to get more full release event bosses, which will give us more pulls and stamp stars, which I also mentioned in my previous video that we're lacking in stamp stars, and it's like hard to like reroll our stamp attributes. So big ones all around. We're also getting a new Soifun skin, which is going to be a Shinko state, which is basically just her without her captain's robe. And the devs have come out and said future skins will also be free, which is interesting considering the purely cosmetic content is completely fine to monetize. The game's already very free to play friendly. I think they should try to monetize where they can in areas that wouldn't really affect the main like free to play player base, or like just in general like your whole player base wouldn't really be effective if you made skins monetized, because again it doesn't take away from the game. They're already increasing the rewards that they're going to give with the Szayelaporro patch, and will also, that's all independent of Grimjaw's half anniversary patch, I believe. So we're going to get big rewards and then even bigger rewards, and the bigger rewards in Szayelaporro, I feel they're going to keep that consistent with our future patches. Universe is just putting in all the work, and I honestly yet to be disappointed with them. Limited characters being added to the premium banner, it's nothing's been like confirmed or anything, but it's also making me like have second thoughts about going all in on Szayelaporro's banner, because he's cool. He'll help my spirit team, because I'm really bad at using my spirit units. I think it's because I'm bad at using Momo, honestly. But him along with Harley Bell, I'm definitely gonna go for Harley Bell. Harley Bell's awesome, and her being DPS, she'll likely be releasing right after Grimjaw. She'll likely want Szayelaporro on her team to have great synergy, because she's obviously releasing after Szayelaporro, and so it makes me more tempted to pull for Szayelaporro. So I'll give it some thought before Szayelaporro comes out. We're still a week away. He's coming out next Friday as I'm recording this. But yeah, anyways, if you watch this far, thank you. Show some support, give it a like, subscribe. Your support's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care.